A place to be, to groom your words, a place that is secured for the rest of mine. No other place but burial schools is the best.
Good day, how are you doing? I hope you're still staying safe and are still observing all the rules laid down by NCDC, talking about your washing of your hands, social distancing and all that. Okay, the most important thing is that you're still staying safe. So you do all you can to stay safe. Okay, it's time for Agric Science for our students in JSS1, and our topic today is going to be soil fertility. Soil fertility. Don't be afraid of that big grammar, just one simple thing. Soil fertility, agricultural science for students of JSS1. Now you may want to ask me, okay, for those of you, before we continue, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Mrs. Omas, okay, and I'll be riding with you on this. I promise you to be very, very interesting. So like I was saying, soil fertility. Okay, so if I may ask you what's soil fertility, or you ask me back, say, Mr. Omas, I don't know, I will ask you again, what's soil fertility? Okay, now it's very, very simple. It's just what the topic is talking about is just making the soil fertile so that when we plant anything, the plants can grow well. Okay, like I was saying before, soil fertility is just the ability of the soil for you to have nutrients, or you can make the soil fertile. You can make it fertile, and whenever you plant anything, it's going to yield something for you. So let me put the definition on the board for you to see. So we have our definition here on the board. It says soil fertility is the soil's ability to supply adequate amount of nutrients to plants, adequate amount of nutrients. Just like in humans, we have what we call the balanced diet. So yes, we have what we call the balanced diet. So the plant is a living thing, and it also feeds. It feeds. So the plants need adequate amount of what you want to call the balanced diet now for it to grow well. Now, a fertile soil is the one that contains all the nutrients needed by crops for good growth. Have you ever wondered why people use farmyard manure? What do you think they are doing? They are trying to make the soil fertile so that the plants will grow well. They are trying to make the soil fertile. You can also use there's what we call organic and inorganic fertilizers. Okay, the inorganic fertilizer, the chemical you buy in the market, that one is the inorganic fertilizer. You buy it from the market, or people selling agro inputs, okay? But the organic one, that one, you can get that one from poultry, people that are into poultry, people that are into animal husbandry, okay? Whenever they want to throw away their dogs, you can just go there and get that one and enrich your soil for your plants to grow well. Now, there are some practices that we are going to be looking at in order for us to maintain our soil fertility. What are those things that we need to do, okay? If you have a farm, take for instance, now you have a small piece of land and then you're farming, have you ever wondered why your first harvest comes out very well? You continue to farm on that farmland frequently and, year in, year out, and you don't allow that land to rest, or there are some things you've not done, and you keep farming and you find out that your harvest gets low, your yield is not as the first one. Yes, there are some things you have not done. So that's what we are going to be looking at now, how we can make our soil fertile so that we can have good yields. Okay, these are the ways by which we can maintain soil fertility. Number one is crop rotation. This is the planting of different crops in a piece of land in a definite order. Okay, the planting of different crops in a piece of land in a definite order. Crop rotation. Okay, if I have a piece of land now, if I'm planting maize this time around, what will I do the next time? I'm going to plant cassava. I'll harvest that one. The next planting season, I'm going to plant maybe plantain, like that. By doing so, you are enriching the soil. That's crop rotation. Number two is mulching. This is the practice of covering the soil surface with organic materials such as dry grasses, okay? if you do this, it will make the soil water not to evaporate. Okay, if you do that, this helps, especially during in dry season. Okay, after weeding your farm, you do your ridges to plant your cassava. You've pinned the stems of the cassava. What do you do with your weed? You don't throw it away, you don't burn it. What you do is that you allow that weed to dry for some time, then pick up that weed. Remember, I'm talking about dry season, are very, very helpful. You pick up that weed, use it to cover the stems that you've pinned in your ridges, your stems of cassava. What you are doing is that you are gradually retaining water vapor, especially under the heat of the sun. By the time you lift that grass, you will see that under the grass becomes wet, and it's going to enrich the soil. It's going to help that plant to grow well. Okay, number 3 is fallowing. This is the practice of allowing the land to rest for some time. Okay, after farming, you harvest. You allow that land to rest. You don't go and go and farm again, or you allow it to rest or lie fallow. Okay, you allow it to rest, or you allow the land to lie fallow so that it can regain its lost nutrients. Okay, don't say that land is a living thing, it does not need rest. Okay, even we human beings, we need rest, but land is a non-living thing. It also needs rest. You know why? Because land works with other nutrients in the soil. It works with nutrients in the soil. Okay, you need the land to rest so that nutrients can regenerate. Land has a way of regenerating itself. Okay, can replenish for you to use that land again. Okay, it's not like you're waiting forever, but for some time. Now, number 4 is manuring. This is the practice of adding manure to the soil to help improve its fertility. We have different types of manure, farmyard manure. You know, you have your cow dung, you have your chicken dung, you have your goat dung. Okay, there are so many of them. Number 5 is fertilizer application. Okay, now don't mistake fertilizer and manure. They are not the same. Okay, manure is organic, the fertilizer is inorganic. This is chemicalized, this is not chemicalized. Okay, fertilizer application. Fertilizer is the chemical that's applied to the soil to enrich the soil. Okay, we can get that to buy in the market. You have different types of fertilizers. Okay, number 6, erosion control. This is very, very key when it comes to maintaining soil fertility. Okay, we will not have a situation where we allow the wind and the water to wash away all the topsoil. You know, probably that's where the fertile nutrients of the soil is located, and the the rain, the water or the wind will wash it away. How then will our plants do well? How will they grow well to give us good yield? No, that will not happen. So we have to learn to control soil erosion. We say physical damage or removal of the soil by agents such as wind and water is called erosion. Soil fertility is maintained when erosion is controlled. Okay, I know it has been an interesting topic talking about soil fertility. I'm running through it again. We say soil fertility is the soil's ability to supply adequate amount of nutrients to plants, just like you as humans. You're eating balanced diet and you grow well. Okay, a fertile soil is the one that contains all the nutrients needed for crops, by crops, for good growth. Okay, and went further to talk about how to maintain soil fertility. So number 1 is crop rotation, number 2 mulching, 3 fallowing, 4 we talked about manuring, 5 fertilizer application, and 6 we talked about erosion control. Now I'm going to give you some few questions for you to dissolve for me. I'll just put those questions on the board as your homework. Okay, I have more questions on the board. Number 1 says, what is soil fertility? What is soil fertility? Number 2, state and explain 3 ways. Okay, ways has to have an S. Okay, 3 ways by which we can improve the fertility of the soil. Remember, I said state it and explain. If you follow my lectures very well, you know that I've stated and I explained. Okay, I hope you're getting the questions. I want to get a feedback from that. Okay, until I come your way next time again, have a nice time. Bye.